Ruhlman has led the Trans Am Championship points battle from the start of the season. Ruhlman began with a landmark win at Long Beach. He's held the lead with consistent driving. Ruhlman's been in the top 5 in 5 of the 6 races run so far this season. His closest competition, rookie Klaus Graf in the 7 car. His first career win came at Portland. Graf just 13 points behind Ruhlman now, doing all he can to take the fight to Ruhlman in the battle for the championship. The other driver who's raced his way into the mix, veteran Greg Pickett. He's trying to finish strong. He has a win in 2 seconds in the last 3 events. There are just 3 races to go in the 2005 season. Every point is crucial as these 3 fight it out for the Trans Am title. Next up, the Cytomax 100 from the streets of Denver, upcoming on Speed. And welcome to the streets of Denver, the circuit located around the Pepsi Center, very close to Mile High Stadium. The Trans Am Series on Speed. Today, the Cytomax Sport Drink 100, the 7th race of the championship season here in 2005. The championship battle getting down to the wire now. As we told you, Randy Ruhlman is the championship leader. Klaus Graf, Greg Pickett, even Joey Scarallo, and Tommy Dreese are well within striking distance of the title here in 2005. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin, joined topside by Derek Daly here in Denver this weekend. Just a couple of races to go. The championship battle pretty tight, Derek.
It is pretty tight, but we've come to a very unusual street circuit because, in fact, it's a combination of a street circuit and a road circuit because more than half of this track is wide, which gives a lot of opportunities to pass and particularly opportunities for the kamikaze move down the inside.
There are a couple of high-speed portions here. The points leader in the GTA category of Trans Am really had a difficult time earlier in the weekend. Let's take a look at what happened to Tim Barber, who drives a Ford Taurus in the GTA category. Derek, coming over the start-finish line.
Very scary accident here. Just look at the speed that he goes sideways off the racetrack and slams into the tires. It looked like he had a major brake failure on the left front brakes and it speared him off to the inside.
Hans device Barber was wearing, that's helped save him. They've miraculously repaired the car. He qualified quickest among the GTA contingent after that wreck, so Barber will be in the field here today. Well, let's get the thoughts of some of the championship contenders before we go racing in the Cytomax 100. Jan Beekes is downstairs with Klaus Graf.
And, of course, the hot ticket in Trans Am competition is to qualify in 5th. If you don't mind giving up a few championship points, you invert those starting positions, you get to start at the front. And, Klaus, sometimes drivers hold back so they can start 5th, but that wasn't the case for you starting 5th today.
No, not really. I mean, I'm glad I have this spot, but obviously I also tried to get the 3 points for pole position, but it just wasn't meant to be for us. I had some trouble in the free session, so it was difficult in qualifying. But I'm looking forward to the race, and I hope we have a good one.
He'll certainly be one of the faster men, but you heard him say he had trouble in practice. Now, championship-wise, the man who's right behind him is with Calvin Fish.
Indeed, and he'll roll off the grid today in 6th place, Jan, and it's the veteran Greg Pickett. And he's really been on a roll of late. And Greg, when you look at the point standings now, any regrets about missing that round in Cleveland?
Well, sure, maybe a little bit. You know, we had some business stuff that we had to do, and we really hadn't planned to run for this championship. Our accomplishments this year and our standings have really been a little bit unusual with the seconds and the win. That was just icing on the cake. So we're really happy. I'm really proud of our whole Cytomax team. And to be the sponsor here at the Cytomax race, we're looking forward to just a great race and a lot of fun.
Okay, well, they're looking strong once again. They have their fuel-injected engine working very well in the high altitude, Rick.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, Greg Pickett bagged that victory at Edmonton at age 58, the first driver to win in 4 decades of Trans Am action. Starting lineup, Klaus Graf will be on the pole, 5th quick qualifier. John Bauckham returns to the series in his Mustang out of North Carolina. He will go 2nd. Randy Ruhlman in the preformed Line Products Chevrolet starts 3rd. And Tommy Dreese in the Four Brothers Jaguar, one of the Rocket Sports cars. Row 3, defending series champ Paul Gentilozzi, that's the Rocket Sports Jag. And there's Greg Pickett in the Cytomax Jaguar. He'll go 6th. The 4th row, Mike Davis in the ACS Mustang, and Paul Fix in his Mustang. He is the leader in GT1 qualifying. Row 5, Hema Maher, that's the other Chevrolet from the Durham Motorsports stables. There's Tim Barber, had that violent wreck earlier in the weekend in his GTA car. Guy Dreyer, John Dial driving Butch Miller's AS8 car. The 52, he'll start 12th today. 7th row, Jeff Emery. He is the 2003 Trans Am GT1 champion. And Steve Kelso in car number 9. In the 8th row, Rob Rodriguez, one of the GTA entries in the 01. Roy Isley is back from British Columbia in the 46 car. The 9th row, John Condren, one of the GTA entries. And Raul Pinto returns in car number 89, another GTA car. Monica Colvin has her GT1 Chevrolet, and Joey Scarallo, who's 5th in the championship, he broke a suspension piece at the start of qualifying, didn't register a time. He has to start at the back of the grid. So there's your lineup. 20 cars ready to go green here in the streets of Denver. It is the Cytomax Sport Drink 100, the 7th race of the championship season. John Balkum, Klaus Graf on the front row, Tommy Dreese and points leader Randy Ruhlman, Paul Gentilozzi and Greg Pickett on the 3rd row, and here we go in Denver.
And there's lots of room on the run down to turn one, a right-hander. Look at Ruhlman in the blue Chevrolet in behind Graf.
Ruhlman with a great move to 2nd in front of Balkum, and trouble back further in the field. One of the GTA cars, that is Dial in the 52. Joey Scarallo just gets by. The 15 car in trouble. That's the car of Jeff Emery. He is the GT1 champion from 2003 in the Trans Am Series. He gets pointed in the right direction, and we stay green. That is Graf now in front of Ruhlman, and here comes Gentilozzi, Balkum, Dreese, and Greg Pickett in the Cytomax car.
And the top 3 on the grid were all separated by less than 1/10 of a second, so that bodes well for the race here. Now this is where it gets wide. Just watch what happens here. It's a street circuit, but it just widens out to make it tempting for drivers to banzai down the inside, particularly in the brake zones.
Heading to the long back straightaway. Ruhlman under pressure from Gentilozzi for 2nd spot.
Oh, Gentilozzi loves the brake zones. He loves to poke his nose down the inside. It is so wide. This is mile-wide corner.
Paul Gentilozzi, the series champion in 2004, takes 2nd away from Randy Ruhlman. Derek, you and I have talked about this the last several weeks. Is Ruhlman points racing at this stage?
I think he has to. He has led the championship most of the season, but you can't spend too much time points racing. Look at the 2 behind Balkum and the Jaguar of Dreese side by side.
Balkum to the inside, trying to pick off Dreese for 4th spot. Greg Pickett settling back in. He rides 6th in front of Mike Davis, Paul Fix, Joey Scarallo, Hema Mara back there. Here comes Dreese again.
Greg Pickett in the Cytomax car watching what's going on. Pickett is the master of the 2nd half of the race. All season long, he sits patiently, protects his tires, and then he makes his charge for the front.
You heard the reference in Calvin Fish's interview with Greg Pickett to Greg taking off the round at Cleveland to attend to some family and business matters. Greg, if he had started and finished in the top 10 at Cleveland, he'd be the championship leader right now at age 58. He was the 1978 Trans Am champion.
It was a great day in Edmonton when we saw him win, but right now, the 2 Jags are putting up a real fight here for the championship lead of the blue and white car of Randy Ruhlman.
Working lap number 3 of 59. There's Balkum in front of Dreese. Graf is your leader. Gentilozzi 2nd. Here's another look at the first start.
Okay, so the faster Trans Am cars are up ahead. Let's see Graf here in the green and silver Jag, nicely in the lead, turns down across Ruhlman. But now watch back here. It all begins to happen around here. Look at this. Crash, bang, wallop. Dial was one of them. John Dial, brother of Ryan Dial, first time in this car.
That is the Butch Miller number 52, the former ASA stock car that's been refitted as a GTA Trans Am entry. Butch finished 10th in that car at Toronto several weeks ago, and they will be back to run the last couple of rounds of the season in that Chevrolet Monte Carlo. A little bit of strategy, Calvin Fish, among the Rocket Sports bunch. What's going on?
Well, there really is. What they're trying to do is to really be the ultimate teammates. That would be Paul Gentilozzi and Tommy Dreese in trying to get in front of Randy Ruhlman. If Klaus Graf can win here today, and they can really pad that point spread between the win and where Randy Ruhlman finishes, that will really eat into that 13-point lead that he currently has in the championship. So the Rocket Sports team, that was the concern of Randy Ruhlman and Jim Durhag. They wanted to try and hold Gentilozzi at bay, but so far, Gentilozzi very aggressive in the early laps.
He has been aggressive as we already get into lap traffic, but these Jaguars of Rocket Sports have been woefully unreliable all season long. Graf particularly, and in fact yesterday in the first practice session, he ran but 2 or 3 laps and they put the car away to have a good close look. So Randy Ruhlman knows that, but you mentioned earlier on, Rick, championship, you cannot back off. You really have to continue to charge, and also when you back off, that's when you make key mistakes. When you do that between the concrete walls, you get yourself in deep trouble.
Randy Ruhlman with a 13-point lead coming in here. 3 races to go in the season. 2 victories. His only 2 career wins have come this season in that PLP Chevrolet 49 car out of the Durhag stables. Settling in third right now. 31 points up for grabs for a race victory here. 30 points for the win, 1 point for leading a lap. And certainly the situation for the 49 car and the Durhag team, he needs to run well. He needs to do very well here, keep the leaders in sight. Meantime, John Dial apparently out of the race, Calvin.
Well, there's a lot of damage here to the front left corner, and John Dial is trying to get unstrapped here. John, I know you really want to impress this weekend. Your first start here this year in Trans Am competition with the ASA car, and it just didn't work out. What happened there in the first turn?
Yeah, just coming into the first turn there, we had a problem with the brake. My foot just slipped straight off the pedal. You know, the car was great. SS Racing gave me a great car. You know, we were in good shape. Driver error, I just slipped off the pedal and I went straight on.
Well, that's a shame. This is Ryan Dial's brother, the guy we've seen regularly in Toyota Atlantic competition, made his Champ Car debut at Toronto this year, and they actually teamed up as brothers at the Daytona Grand Am race, scoring a podium finish there. So John Dial is certainly a great road racer, but a short day for him, Rick.
Tough break indeed for the 52, the Butch Miller team. Back to the start, Derek.
And he says his foot slips off the brake right about here. Oh, look at that whack sideways. That's number 15, Jeff Emery, right here, that gets involved in it. Joey Scarello right here, the red Chevrolet Corvette, gets involved. But you don't often hear a driver admit to that. His foot slipped off the brake. Of course, this is the first time he's been in a racing car this size and this heavy.
Leaders working through the twisty bits, heading to the backstretch. Gentilozzi second. Ruhlman runs third in front of Bauckham, Dreese, and Pickett. We'll be back. 5 laps on the board. Back to the streets of Denver, the Cytomax Sport Drink 100, 7th race of the 2005 Trans Am Championship season. And the Rocket Sports Jaguars running 1-2 in front of points leader Randy Ruhlman's Chevrolet Corvette. John Bauckham clinging to 4th right now, but just a few seconds ago, Derek Daly, the 5 car of Tommy Dreese, was putting a lot of pressure on Bauckham.
Yeah, this is where the fight is here. Dreese believes he's faster than John Bauckham in the yellow and green Mustang. He made a big banzai run right at the end of this straight here, so expect him to potentially do the same again. He's beginning to line him up. There's so much room down here at the mile-wide corner. It's very tempting. Watch Dreese in the brake zone. Can he come down the inside again? There, this is him. This is it. Now, he didn't make a stick the last time.
He got up over the curb, and the curb kind of pitched him sideways, but he was very smooth that time.
Very good run there by Tommy Dreese. Now, Greg Pickett knows the potential weak spot for that Ford Mustang. He'll probably wait until next time round and try to make the same type of move. Pickett is in 6th. Bauckham is now 5th.
Greg Pickett has shown himself to be very, very patient this season. That has put him 3rd in the championship standings, his first victory since 1992. Toward the back of the pack, this is just a few moments ago. Have a look here down into the mile-high corner. Monica Colvin, middle of the racetrack. Roy Isley ran out of racing room on the outside of the 46.
Well, it looked like Monica was moving to the outside when Isley had committed himself to go down the outside, ran out of room, and then just drop-kicked her in the right rear quarter panel. I think she is still able to run, but Monica well off the pace, as you saw in the brake zone down a mile-wide corner.
She is on pit road at the moment, having that car looked at. Here comes Ruhlman, Dreese, Bauckham, lapping by one of the GTA machines. 4th spot is in play. John Bauckham in that yellow and green Mustang. Software toolbox car. He's taken the last couple of races off, but he is back for the remainder of the rounds of the 2005 championship.
Dreese looks good here.
Yeah.
Dreese has closed in now, and the championship leader, Randy Ruhlman. Last lap by, Dreese at a 1:13.8 seconds. That was 2nd fastest to the man leading, which is Klaus Graf.
Randy Ruhlman under pressure now. This is Dreese in the Four Brothers Rocket Sports Jaguar. He's got room, I think, Derek, to put a move on Ruhlman and try to get 3rd away from him here momentarily, but he wiggles that time off the corner.
Yeah, he is driving very hard. Now, on Trans Am races, what I like about these races is you do have to manage the tires and the package. Once you begin to stand on the power and throw these things sideways and get wheel spin, you tend to use the tires up and not have much left for the back half of the race. Dreese looks to me as if he's really driving hard right now, trying to challenge Randy Ruhlman, and he's coming to his favorite place. End of this long back straight here in the brake zone.
Randy Ruhlman, the Freeform Line Product Chevrolet, one of the 2 Jim Durhag cars in the field. Ruhlman running in 3rd spot right now, but Dreese right there along with Bauckham. Greg Pickett watching things back in 6th position. Mike Davis is 7th. Paul Fix, Joey Scarello, Hema Mars Your top 10 here in Denver. Down into the 9th corner. Ruhlman able to hold ground in front of the 5 car. As we watch this battle develop. Top 2, Klaus Graf with a 6-second lead over team boss Paul Gentilozzi. Greg Pickett back in 6th. Jan, what are you hearing from his pit stall?
Well, interestingly, we heard Derek talk about how great he is in the second half of the race, and that's because of the tire management. Well, it's much, much cooler today than traditionally we would have in Denver, and so therefore tire management not as big of an issue. So certainly the second half of the race for Pickett will be good, but on a day like today, you don't have to save the tires quite like you would on a hot one.
And of course, one of the advantages we thought the Cytomax car would have is the new engine power plant that they have in this. Oh, he's whacked somebody also. You see the front of the car there.
Yep.
It's got Bosch fuel injection. It is a 310 cubic inch engine built by Hasselgren. They debuted it at the last race, went very well, almost won the race. Look at this.
Tommy Tracy putting the bumper on Randy Ruhlman through the twisty bits.
Wow, these boys have traded paint in the past. At the last race at San Jose, Ruhlman was well and truly mugged by Klaus Graf, whacked a couple of times, but he is under pressure now by Tommy Dreese.
Randy Ruhlman trying to win his first Trans Am championship after more than 10 years of trying. Leaders coming to the front straightaway. Graf with a 5.8-second lead over Paul Gentilozzi. Ruhlman leaves the door wide open into turn 1.
And that's a good point. The door completely wide open. That means that you take a wide line, you invite the following driver to stick his nose down the inside. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ruhlman begin to tighten up that line because he does not want to lose many more positions here as this race goes on. Have a look here, though. Look at Tommy Dreese get right up, boom, little love tap right there to the blue and white Chevrolet of Randy Ruhlman. Just a little love tap saying, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to pounce. Don't leave the door open or I will be in there.
Well, you've heard the term chrome horn. No chrome on these cars, but that was definitely the use of the chrome horn by Tommy Dreese on Ruhlman. Back through turns 5, 6, 7, and 8, heading to the backstretch. It is still Ruhlman, the points leader. Derek Daly, Ibrecht Benjamin, Jan Beekes, Calvin Fish on pit road. Race leader is Klaus Graf in the Rocket Sports Jaguar, the 7 car, second to the championship, leading the rookie standings. Graf with a big lead of 7.5 seconds. While we were away, though, Derek, a couple of key passes just a moment ago. Randy Ruhlman giving up ground here to Tommy Dreese.
And this was almost an out-of-control kamikaze pass. And look at Pickett down here. Tries to follow him through, thinks better of it, but later on, Pickett does the same thing at the hairpin, down the inside of Randy Ruhlman, who is the championship leader, who is working his way backwards, and I don't see him, Rick, having the speed to challenge these front-running Jaguars.
It does not appear to be the situation today. Ruhlman started 3rd. He's faded to 5th. Calvin, what's the situation?
Let's check in with his team leader here, Jim Durhag. Randy slipping back a little bit, but a few laps ago, we saw some gentle massaging by Tommy Dreese on the rear bumper of Ruhlman. Does that give you concern at this stage of the championship, Jim?
Of course it does, Calvin, but does that really surprise you?
I know there's a lot of team politics playing out in the championship right now. Talk about the race right now. Randy's dropped a little bit back off the pace. Is this a Jim Durhag directed move to try and save the tires and be strong in the last state?
Well, I don't know exactly what's going on right now. We haven't caught all the best breaks in traffic, and we're hoping for a long green run here. Get some of the fuel off the car. It should be better than that.
All right, Jim, thank you. One of our other front runners is certainly having troubles today, Jan. Let's check in with you.
Yeah, you talked about not catching a break. Joey Scarallo was out of his car here on pit road. It seemed like at the very start where there was contact, that got you in trouble.
It was. We broke in qualifying. It's so terrible. We didn't even get a lap in, and we were back there in the back where we really shouldn't have been here. And somebody just made a move, a real unacceptable move to be making at this type of an event on the start, and just bonsai down the middle and took us out. It's terrible. It's a shame. Tony Ave and all the guys have done such a great job for me all year. We've been in the championship hunt. We needed a good run here, but we've been in the hunt all year and just totally crushed the side of the car and probably crushed any chance we'll have of a championship now this year. And very, very, very frustrating. I can't even say the words. I feel bad for the guys. They've worked so hard. They've been great. And I'm just very, very frustrated right now.
Obviously, some huge frustration. The front of the car severely damaged here for Joey Scarallo. As he said, his championship hopes may have gone up in smoke.
Well, the young driver from Smithtown, Long Island, in the state of New York, 4th in the title fight coming in here. He will get credited for 18th finishing position today. Meantime, for 2nd, Paul Gentilozzi, the defending series champion, 30 career Trans Am wins. The all-time record holder is teammate Dreesy. Gentilozzi is 2nd, Dreesy 3rd. Greg Pickett has moved to 4th. This has been quite a battle, Derek, the last several weeks.
This is the fight right here. Gentilozzi has been reeled in by Dreesy. Pickett is watching everything that goes on, 2 cars ahead of him. I think Pickett potentially looks as if he's going to have the speed to get by these 2 other Jaguars, because that is his style. We're only 23 laps into it. And earlier, Greg Pickett did a 1:12.9, which is the fastest lap of any car out there, including Klaus Graf.
At age 58, the driver of the Cytomax Jaguar, the event sponsor here, as quick as ever, maybe better than he's been the last several seasons after bagging that victory at Edmonton back in the month of July. Gentilozzi is 2nd. Klaus Graf is the leader by 8 seconds. Greg Pickett is certainly setting himself up for a good second half of this one today, Jan.
I think so, and I agree with Derek that he has one of the fastest cars, but don't count out Gentilozzi. I really believe that he has slowed up on purpose to try and give Klaus Graf the biggest gap that he can. Certainly Paul Gentilozzi is all about rocket sports, all about winning a championship, and I really don't think he's got the button fully pushed. I think he's hanging back, protecting his leader, almost like we would see in the Tour de France. I think this is a full team effort.
Aha! The little snake. Well, that if he is doing that, I suppose you have to understand they are in a manufacturer's battle also that is going on here. Jaguar are right in the thick of that fight too, so there is strategic plays being made here.
Well, of course, Klaus Graf came over from Germany this year to run Trans Am. The goal to win Rookie of the Year and the Drivers' Championship. He's certainly got a shot. We'll be back. Dreesy to move to 2nd spot, getting around team boss Paul Gentilozzi, and now pulling away. Derek shows what happened here.
And he was itchy to make that move. Had followed him for 5 or 6 laps. This is the run up the turns 4, and then he just pounces down the inside, and Paul Gentilozzi realizes he's beaten. Unusually, Dreesy goes around the outside. This is turn 5, down past the pit straight. Dreesy will now streak away from Paul Gentilozzi, who must be in some sort of a conservative mode. Jan?
That conservative mode is exactly what the team just confirmed that he does not. That is, Paul Gentilozzi wants to save his tires and decided to let Tommy Dreesy go.
Well, the next one he's going to let by is Greg Pickett, because Greg Pickett's now all over behind the backside of the Jag. He saw exactly what Dreesy did, and he did it right here. Pickett has been good on the brakes, Rick. We've watched him as the laps have gone on here. Pickett's car still is in good shape.
Greg Pickett heading down the pit straightaway, working on Paul Gentilozzi's Jaguar for 3rd spot. Less than half a second the gap right now. Dreesy starting to jet away. Klaus Graf continues to lead. He's led since the drop of the green. Graf has an 8-second advantage over Dreesy now, and this race will become a timed event. We've got 34 minutes of racing left, time for about 28, 29 laps here on the streets of Denver. There's Dreesy, Gentilozzi, and Pickett running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And how about Pickett taking a look to the inside of Gentilozzi?
Oh, he is having a look down the inside, but Graf, meanwhile, just at a 1:12.2, which was the fastest lap of the race.
Klaus Graf, your leader. He's led all the way. Here's Greg Pickett now, drawing alongside Gentilozzi. He goes outside in into turn 1. Gentilozzi closes the door and holds on to 3rd position.
Yeah, tried it down at the end of the hairpin, but he knows that Gentilozzi is not on fire right now. He knows he could potentially make this move and get himself again, believe it or not, into a rostrum position.
Now, is this a difference in engine combination that we're seeing here, Derek? Of course, we talked about the Cytomax car, the fuel-injected 311 cubic inch V8. Gentilozzi's got a carbureted motor in this Mile High Air.
Well, actually, Gentilozzi has the AJ-V8. So
That's right.
They both have fuel injection.
You're right.
But this yellow and silver Cytomax Jaguar, this new engine they have, apparently has a lot of torque, which means you can manage the tires better. You don't get the wheel spin. And on a street circuit like this, it should be an advantage, and it may be an advantage as this race goes on here. As you see, Pickett loses about 2 or 3 car lengths as they made their way through a little bit of traffic there. But Greg Pickett undoubtedly is faster than Gentilozzi right now, and he always has a look down the inside there.
Gentilozzi with a better line into turn 9, outside in across the apex, and gains ground as they come up on the Tim Barber car. Barber, the driver who whacked that first turn wall so hard earlier in the weekend, they put that car back together. 97 was the quickest qualifier in the Trans Am GTA category. Here's Gentilozzi continuing to run third in front of Pickett by about 5 car lengths now.
So we're 34 laps into this. We have plenty of time to go here. Greg Pickett, this is where the fight is. This is third place Gentilozzi, silver and green Jag, yellow and silver Jag, Cytomax and Pickett. This is where the fight is. Dreesy now is beginning to streak away, Rick, from these guys. He is now, Dreesy is 2.5 seconds up the road. You just saw him right there, but I don't think he's going to catch Graf. Graf is just way quicker than everybody else this weekend.
Well, let's recap for you. The AJ-V8 is a 4-valve motor that the Jaguar Rocket Sports team has been developing the last couple of seasons, and they've gone through several different versions of it. It's now in team owner Paul Gentilozzi's car, the other 2 using a more conventional pushrod.
The other 2 being Dreesy and Graf. Now the other fuel-injected car is Pickett. Now Pickett keeps coming down the inside, and you just said it the last time, Gentilozzi on the better line. Pickett, if he's not going to make the move, he needs to move wide and not lose time coming off that hairpin. Oh, he is so close now.
Slower car on the outside. The GTA car of John Condren moves out of the way. That allows Gentilozzi and Pickett to keep the battle raging for third spot. Timed race. We've got 30 minutes of racing to go. Should be about 23, 24 more laps here around the streets of Denver. Klaus Graf putting a whipping on the field in the Cytomax 100. On Beekes and Calvin Fish on pit road. Laps winding down. We've got about 19 minutes of racing left. This one will be a timed event through the streets of Denver today. That should allow for about 13 or 14 more laps. There's the GT1 car. Jeff Emery, the 2003 Trans Am GT1 champion, being lapped by Klaus Graf, who has led all the way in that Rocket Sports number 7. And Derek Daly, as we look at the running order, Graf has led every lap so far. Randy Ruhlman, the points leader, back in 6th. We could be setting up a situation where Graf would get into a tie with Ruhlman for the title with just 2 races left in the season.
And it's because Graf has been a model of speed and consistency in the Jaguar this afternoon. And Randy Ruhlman, on the other hand, has just not had the speed to contend or even to challenge. John Bauckham made the pass 10 or 15 laps earlier on Ruhlman. Ruhlman, quite frankly, has struggled. He has just not been on the pace.
Well, Ruhlman, if he finishes 6th, would have 177 points with 2 races to go. Graf with the win and the lap for the bonus point, I should say, for leading a lap would be at 175. Leading the most laps would get him additional bonus points. Unofficially, we have those 2 in a tentative tie for the championship lead if things finish as they currently are. And bear in mind, Klaus Graf has led all the way. His lead over teammate Tommy Dreesy in the Rocket Sports Jag, the 5 car, 5.5 seconds as we get down to the last 10 or 12 laps here in Denver.
And you heard his accent on the grid at the start. He is from Germany. He is a product of the Porsche Super Cup Championship. See the blue flags being waved here. A large contingent of SCCA workers are here to man those flags. They are critical of those flags because they tell the driver if you need to move over, if you need to be careful, if a faster car is following you, that is the warning. A blue flag means move over and let the faster car through.
Now look back at some of the other contenders here on the front straightaway. The start-finish line, you just saw it a moment ago. Greg Pickett in that silver car continues to run 4th. Behind defending series champ Paul Gentilozzi in car number 1. And there's the car running 2nd, the 3rd Rocket Sports Jag, the 4 Brothers 5 car of Tommy Dreesy. Here comes the Cytomax machine. Pickett at age 58, the winner at Edmonton back in the month of July. He's run 2nd twice additionally in the last 3 rounds. Pickett 3rd in the championship. And Derek, we mentioned earlier, had he started the race at Cleveland, would have likely finished in the top 10 at least. He'd be the points leader right now.
Yes, he would. And that is turn 5 he just went through. A lap earlier, He almost slipped up. He turned in, got a lot of understeer, lost his line, and in fact slipped back from the rear bumper of Paul Gentilosi's green and silver Jaguar. So Greg Pickett, which is unusual for him towards the end of the races, just beginning to slip back here.
Well, we haven't seen the three Rocket Sports cars in the top 3 spots in quite a while, and it's really been a case of reliability. Jan, what's the situation?
It has, and we have the opportunity. He's watching his dad. This is Tony Gentilosi. Your responsibility is to build the engines. This year, that's kind of been the bugaboo, the reliability. Have you got that all worked out?
So it would seem today. I think we've made the right changes to keep going around the racetrack, and it looks like Pops is catching up here.
Keeping a close eye. I see you have the radio in hand as well. Are you talking to Pops, as you call him, on the radio?
Yes, absolutely.
Keeping him apprised of the gaps and so on.
Trouble. One
we've
car
got
goes
some
around.
trouble.
Paul Fix has spun his Mustang right in front of where Paul Gentilosi was coming through the corner. And Paul quickly whipped that car to the left and missed the Stop Flex 77 of the car of Paul Fix out of Buffalo, New York. Fix pulls into a runoff area. He'll turn that car around and try to rejoin the fun here in the streets of Denver with 15 minutes of racing to go.
That was really, really close. This was Pops Gentilosi. Watch what happens here. Look, look, look. Oh, sees him on the last moment. Paul Gentilosi, remember the concrete wall that you see in here? That pretty much blocks the driver from looking around the corner. You have to drive around, you're not sure what's there. But Paul Gentilosi has just done the fastest lap of the race. He is the only driver in the 1 minute 11 second bracket at a 1 minute 11.9.
And he is catching up to Tommy Dreese. We may well see a battle for second after a very close call. Paul Fix was running 8th at the time of that spin. Laps are winding down. We'll be back in Denver. Less than 10 laps to go. Troy Cowgill looking on as his Rocket Sports team runs 1, 2, and 3. We've had some changes at the front. Mike Davis now, race leader Klaus Graf, putting him another lap down. There's debris on the racetrack. We've had some contact in the last few moments between those two GTA cars, John Condra and Roy Isley. Now let's have a look at the change of position for second just a moment ago. Paul Gentilosi and Tommy Dreese were battling. We'll show you that in a moment. This is contact in the GTA field. Boy, Roy Isley has had a tough day today.
So Roy just mounts the back of John Condra there, whacks him, moves him out of the way, and says bye-bye. Meanwhile, Gentilosi has also made a pass on Tommy Dreese.
Good action at the front of the field. Gentilosi had gotten by Dreese down the backstretch.
Oh, you can hear the rev limiters. This is where Gentilosi passed him. Dreese would love to repay the favor. Let's have a look.
Here we go again
at the pass. Now Gentilosi, this was a pretty brave move by Gentilosi, because look how far behind he is. In fact, Gentilosi gets a little bit sideways, comes down the inside. I think he surprised Dreese. You know what? I think he surprised himself. You see Dreese now coming down the inside. Watch how close they get here. Look. Oh, almost touched right there. Almost touched again.
Close quarters racing down into turn 1 there that time, and it looked for a moment as though they'd get back into each other, but now Gentilosi has pulled away.
And when you look at that again in slow-mo, Gentilosi was almost out of control. He's lucky that Dreese saw him and didn't turn in any further, because there definitely would have been contact. But that was a brave move by Gentilosi, and I don't think he'd try that again. He was looking to pull that off.
So Gentilosi is back to second now. He's about 5.5 seconds behind race leader Klaus Graf, who continues to run out front. Now here's Graf with Gentilosi starting to eat into that lead a little bit. Handful of laps to go. We're 67 minutes into this one, so we've got about 9 minutes of racing remaining here.
So it is a Jaguar domination here.
He did.
Watch Paul Gentilosi here against the wall. Whoa!
Rushing the wall with the right side of the car through the twisties that sets you up to go to the backstretch.
Now Tommy Dreese would have seen that and thought, whoa. Paul Gentilosi, even though he made that big kamikaze move down the inside, he is right on the limit, and Dreese would love nothing more than to put a move as they navigate past the debris there.
Oh, Gentilozzi white-walled those tires, and he ran out of brakes into that corner. So Gentilozzi running second goes into the runoff area. Gets it pointed in the right direction. There's Tony Gentilozzi watching the monitors.
He killed the engine. It's got to start it again. Pushes the button. Wow, what a mistake after 54 laps. Critical error. Dreesy is now second. Again, watch it. I don't know whether traffic had a handle.
That's that very difficult place coming onto the pit straightaway there, coming through turn number 4.
See the white walls on the side of the car there. I think that was just driver error. That was just simply driver error. He moved offline because of traffic, but you have to allow for traffic with those two different classes on the racetrack at the same time. But a big mistake for Paul Gentilozzi.
Heading down the back straightaway, it is Graf, your leader. Dreesy now second again. Pickett up to third in front of Gentilozzi. Jan Bikus, the driver error factor for the Rocket Sports team, again in play.
Well, you have to also consider he was coming onto the street here known as Aurora Parkway, which is the slipperiest piece of concrete on the racetrack. And because of that lap traffic, he had to go offline. So he was going onto a piece of concrete that used to have rubber. You get offline, it's like ice. So you got to make your amends, you have to make your adjustments, but certainly a much slicker surface.
And that is a key, Jan. You have to make your adjustments, and he just did it 54 times, so he pretty much knew what the grip level was. That was a costly mistake. Only cost him 2 positions. It was Dreesy and Pickett. Now, can he run down Pickett, or can Pickett run down Dreesy as his style?
Well, your leader continues to be Graf. The lap's winding down in Denver. Couple of laps to go in the Cytomax Sport Drink 100. The Trans Am Tour is in Denver here on Speed with Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin, Jan Bikus, Calvin Fish on pit road. It has been a Klaus Graf benefit in car number 7, the Rocket Sports Jag. Led to the pole, led all the way with just a couple of laps to go. This one becoming a timed race. His lead over teammate Tommy Dreesy back up near 7 seconds. Greg Pickett went to third when Paul Gentilozzi had problems a few moments ago. Let's check in on GTA. This is Guy Dreyer in the 13. Dreyer 10th overall. He has led the GTA category for much of the day out of Indian Wells, California, in that Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Dreyer, Tim Barber, who had that huge hit in the wall earlier in the weekend, he's come back to second. Steve Kelso, Pinto, and Isley, who's had a lot of incidents himself here today. He had gotten into Monica Colvin earlier, then he and John Condra entangled just a short time ago as we watch the battle. This is Dreyer in the 13, out onto the front straightaway. Should have just a couple of laps left. We've got about 2 minutes of running time left here today. Time for another lap and a half or 2 through the streets of Denver. Graf uncontested up front. In Trans Am, meantime, the real story, the battle for the season championship. 2 races to go after this weekend as we watch Dreyer continue to lead in GTA. 10th overall. He's got a good lead over Tim Barber in second. Graf sets himself up to be just a couple of points behind Randy Ruhlman, maybe only 1. Ruhlman stuck back in 6th, Jan Bikus, as we get down toward the finish here in Denver.
For Klaus Graf, consider that after the San Jose race, he got some advice, almost a reprimand from team owner Paul Gentilozzi. He said, Klaus, you are so much faster than those other guys. What are you doing out there mixing it up with them and getting into contact? So he sat him down, wanted him to be more conservative, and in fact, he's showing exactly what Paul Gentilozzi had, and that was he's faster than the field, and the good thing, stay out of trouble. It's really paid off for him today.
Well, that and the reliability factor we heard from Tony Gentilozzi a few moments ago, Derek. I mean, that has been the problem for the Jags.
In fairness to Klaus Graf, he is driving very well, but that car has not allowed him to show his talents. And he is as talented a driver as has stepped into a Trans Am car in many, many years. You can hear him on the rev limiter at the end of this straight, but Portland, he pretty much dominated. But today, I haven't seen a Trans Am dominated in this fashion for a long time, as the white flag finally comes out after 50, 60 long laps he's just done.
1 to go for Klaus Graf. Down to the Centrix corner. They've got that beautiful new Centrix Financial Grandstand inside turn 1 here in the streets of Denver. And Graf has run pretty much all by himself. It has been a textbook performance for the Rocket Sports Jaguar. One more time around this 1.65 mile 9-turn circuit, and Graf will have picked up his 2nd victory and 4th podium of 2005. Dreese still 8 seconds back. Greg Pickett will run third, and Pickett, by finishing third, assuming he can close the deal. There's Dreese running in second spot. Dreese fifth in the championship. He will have a good run today and end up at 159 points. Pickett runs third. He'll be at 164. So we've got a good points battle developing last couple of races.
It is. What happened, Greg Pickett? He just dropped way, way back from behind Tommy Dreese. So he must have made a small mistake. Gentilozzi, because of the mistake he made earlier, is still 8 or 9 seconds behind, but Pickett is no longer anywhere near Dreese, and we thought he could challenge for that second place.
You saw Paul Fix's car there, the Mustang, the 77, the Stop Flex car. He had spun earlier and nearly got collected by Gentilozzi. A flag-to-flag win. Klaus Graf in the Rocket Sports Jaguar wins in the streets of Denver. It is flag-to-flag from the pole for car number 7, and Graf puts himself solidly into championship contention in the Trans Am Tour.
Wow, that has been a lot of work for that team this year. We said at the top of the show, woeful unreliability problems, but it has come good today. They were the class of the field. Oh man, he runs right in to the fender that sat there for the last 15 laps.
Klaus Graf, your winner. Tommy Dreese second. Greg Pickett and Paul Gentilozzi, the top 4 in front of John Walker. We'll talk to the winner when we come back. Welcome back to the streets of Denver. The Cytomax Sport Drink 100 is complete. Little late drama after the checkered flag. Tommy Dreese came up alongside to congratulate Klaus Graf, who was a wire-to-wire winner and ran over a little debris. But Graf and Dreese run 1-2 here ahead of Greg Pickett. Team boss Paul Gentilozzi comes home 4th after that problem with braking, Derek, in a late race turn.
Exceptional day for Klaus Graf. Very disappointing day for our championship leader, Randy Ruhlman. Was never a factor. This may be the day that this championship season turns.
Well, the standings look like this. Ruhlman at 177 points. His lead over Graf down to just 1. Greg Pickett and Dreese with a shot with 2 races to go.
And there are plenty of points left, so Pickett could win this again, but Klaus Graf, if he can have the type of reliability we saw today, he be the man.
Graf certainly has opened the door. He's well in line to score Rookie of the Year honors. May well be the season champion. Second win of the year in Victory Lane. He's with Jan Vikas.
And Klaus Graf has just given everyone a Cytomax shower here. Tell me about this race. Derek Daly had said probably the most dominant Trans Am victory he's seen as far as just no one really challenging you.
Yeah, I mean, the car was perfect, awesome. I mean, compliment to the Rocket Sports guys, and didn't have much running in the practice sessions. And to have such a car in the race is pretty awesome, especially after rain this morning. So Troy did a fantastic job, my crew chief, as always. Perfect setup, and I mean, I had a good start and pulled away and tried to control the race, but still, if you're leading by quite a bit, you still have to stay focused, you know. So sometimes a little hard not to get too lazy in the car. But it's really good. Great fun in the car. It was really have fun on this track. And I said this afternoon we had a Cytomax at the hospitality meeting there, and I said to Greg Pickett, hey, I really like to win one of the Cytomax races this year. And that's what I did, man. I won the Cytomax 100. Thanks a lot, guys.
He did. Congratulations. And, of course, he closes in on those points.
Just 1 point behind. Next week, Road America, and then Montreal to settle the championship, Derek. I think he's got a great shot.
Oh, absolutely. But one of the keys today also was no yellows. So the lead that he built, he was able to maintain it and, in fact, continue to build on it all season long.
One of Tommy Dreese's best days of this season, as well as Dreese finishes second here on the streets of Denver. Well, that wraps up our coverage of the Trans Am Championship in Denver, the Cytomax 100. Be sure and join us Sunday, August 28th at 3 Eastern. Our next Trans Am round on speed comes from Road America. Stay tuned. The Speed World Challenge GT Championship from Denver is next, right here on Speed. For Derek Daly, Jan Vikas, and Calvin Fish, I'm Rick Benjamin, congratulating our winner today, Klaus Graf. Thanks for watching. So long from Denver. We'll see you next time here on Speed.